5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Hello boys and girls, and welcome to the first episode for Pillars of Eternity, a project of mine which I, intended to do for quite some time now, but I have never come around to do anything, because it's just such a vast game, and I simply had no time for it. So, we shall now, take a brief look at the character creator. Again, I'll keep it brief, very brief. So, you have your basic male and female choices here. Nothing fancy. Okay, 6 races. We got the human, the Ormor, the dwarf, the elf, the Orlan, and the godlike. I should probably show a bit of the godlike. We got the death godlike, fire, moon, and the nature godlike. And, you could call them planar beings, or yeah, they're a bit strange. I won't get into detail. I'll keep this as brief as possible. And then we pick the human. The humans too have different sub-races. We got the meadow folk, ocean, and the savannah folk. We play as the meadow folk here. Okay. We then have, quite a amount of classes here: barbarian, paladin, chanter, priest, cipher, ranger, druid, rogue, fighter, wizard, and the monk. You could say the most uncommon of these classes are the chanter and the cipher. The chanter being a kind of bard, while the cipher doesn't really have any similarities in other roleplay systems, at least not that I can think of. The most most accurate one would be probably the Witcher or Witch for Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe the Sorcerer. But again, better I read the text here. A recent discovery in the Eastern Reach: ciphers were once called Brishalgwyn, mind hunters, by the Glenfathans. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche, using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus of their magic. Though most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach, practitioners of the techniques have spread through the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Ciphers rely on powers rather than spells, and as you can see, they are slightly below average in hand-to-hand combat. In comparison, the fighter here, very high endurance, health, accuracy, and deflection. Well, not so high endurance, but high enough to, take some damage. We will play as the cipher, as I have yet to play him. I've never played, well, the Cypher, because I just wanted to experience the game in a more, well, common way. A little less overwhelming, as this Cypher is, as I gather, a bit tricky to play right. Okay, next we got the different powers. I will go for the Soul Shock here. Briefly transform the outer shell of an allied target's soul into energy, releasing an electrical burst around them. Characters standing in the area around the target take shock damage. This can be a double-edged sword, as you may be able to damage your own team. You always have to keep that in mind. So it's best used on isolated allies, mainly fighters that work alone. And we then have Whispers of Treason, which is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. Imparts a bedeviling secret to an enemy that causes its allegiance to bend, charming them for a duration. Okay, so a charmed character will fight for me. However, it will do so at reduced abilities, especially defenses. So he's not that useful, the charmed character. But then again, if I can make the enemy to attack the charmed enemy, he'll kill them for me. So that's good. Okay, next we got the attributes. We'll pick a rather balanced set of attributes. So we go for might for damage and fortitude mainly. Constitution will stay as it is. I hope to not get hit all that often, basically. Okay, dexterity, pretty important. Action speed and reflexes. Perception, we put 2 points into that, mainly for the accuracy and the interrupt. We then got the intellect, which is very important for the Cypher, as it increases the area of effect of my spells, as well as the duration. And secondly, will buff my will defense, which will, well, protect me against well, spells that affect the mind, basically. Then we got resolve, and we put our remaining 2 points into that, mainly for the concentration and the deflection. Deflection being the, well, the physical defenses. Okay, that's done. Next, we go for Old Vaelia. Once the crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Vaelia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations, counting many humans and dwarves among the ranks. The old Vaelian countries are still forces to be reckoned with, and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Yep, we shall take that. Next is a background. We will be a mercenary for the various merchant republics of Vaelia. We get 1 point in athletics and 1 point in law. Athletics being very important. Adventuring is tiring work. In addition to the hazards of mortal combat, adventurers have walls to climb, rivers to cross, and pits to leap over. Once per encounter, characters with athletics can use the second wind ability to recover lost endurance. A high athletics score increases the effect of second wind. In conversations and scripted interactions, athletics is used for physical feats like climbing, swimming, and jumping. Yet, very important. We then got lore. Lore represents a character's accumulated miscellaneous knowledge and trivia, often of occult or esoteric topics. Outside of conversations and scripted interactions, lore is used to activate scrolls. Higher lore values allow the character to use higher level scrolls. So that is that. We take that and head over to appearance. Now I have downloaded a set of custom, there they are, custom portraits for my characters. We will take, it's any minute now, that one. That one looks nice. Okay, skin primary. Let's take a primary color of black. Facial hair. Yeah, magnificent beard. Head. Well, that one looks good. And hair. Yeah, I stick with that. There are a few other options, but I said I would keep this as brief as possible. To well, not take away any time from the actual gameplay. Okay, next.
I'll teach you a lesson! They'll never know I'm here.
Like
Hey
that
there.
voice. We take that, and his name shall be Erin. Very basic, but at least I won't trip over it. So, that's been done. The character creation finished. Only a very brief excursion, but nonetheless, let's jump into the game. There we are. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red moustache and sagging jowls quivering, as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day.
Okay.
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Okay, so Aldima looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfel, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. Sparfel nods and slides the worm bow over his shoulder. Okay, so where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Kind of funny looking, that's not an adequate description. Okay, what are those ruins
Nothing
over
you
there?
won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may all open up options for you in dialogue. These options are not necessarily superior to the other responses, but give you a wider variety of choices to select from. The manner in which someone responds to your choices, depends on their individual personality and attitude. Okay, I get that. Who did build these
Got
ruins?
different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Okay, and is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business.
Oh, then we better hurry.
And not if the weather holds up.
There is a concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. Okay, so they got funny weather here? Yeah, what kind of weather do they get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never care to.
So we probably run into it, eh? Okay. Then, what are these huge rocks coming out of the ground? These ones here.
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
Okay.
It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
Interesting.
The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, I see about the berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travellers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
I like her already.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Okay, let's
You heard the
find
man.
these
Let's get
ominous
going before you
berries.
keel over.
Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Era, you may want to watch these windows to become familiar with the tools and interfaces available to you, which is probably a good idea as I haven't played for, well, almost a year. Your party always consists of your character and up to 5 additional companions or adventurers. While the caravan is camped outside the Glenfathan ruins, Odima has assigned Kalisha to help you. Kalisha is a fighter, a class that excels at close quarters defense. Use her abilities to complement your own. Oh, sorry. To select a party member, click on their selection circle, their portrait, or press the number button that corresponds to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen and drag the marquee over the circles of the party members you'd like to include. Yeah, so far so good. To move selected characters, click anywhere on the screen. All selected characters will path to their corresponding. If you see a red circle with a slash through it, you cannot walk on that part of the map. Makes sense. When multiple party members are selected, the action bar is hidden. To see an individual character's options, select only that character.
Yeah?
Okay. Makes sense. By the way, I have, for convenience sake, activated the colorblind feature of the game, which should probably be nice for some of you. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, this is new. Difficulty 1, mechanics. What? Okay.
I see where you're going with that.
That's locked. Can
What
she
you
open
need?
it? No, she cannot. Oh,
Hey
I
there.
need lockpicks, okay.
I see where you're going with that.
Let's see. How much... What's my mechanics? Okay, it's 1. I need 1 lockpick. Now, where would I get a lockpick, eh? Maybe here? Oh, hello, that's a lockpick. Whoopsie doopsie. And we got deer wooden clothing. Now, try it again.
I see where you're going with that.
Party lockpicks 1. Do you want to pick the lock? Yes.
Give me a real challenge.
Lock picked. Do I still have my lockpick? No. Okay, so that's gone. And, ooh, we get a potion of endurance. Speed instant plus 50 endurance, which is more than I currently have. This vibrant purple potion has an equally apparent effect. For imbibing, it immediately grants a rush of energy, restoring vitality and briskness to even the most haggard and weary of travelers. That is very good to have. What's this? Oh, that's probably from my pre-order? I haven't played in ages. This item grants the ability to shield the wearer from the myriad perils that plague the world of Era, an aspect of the god Eothas. Gorn represents the harvest of old age, symbolized here by the many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gorn helps protect the dignity of old age, so too do his followers pledge to prevent young lives from being harvested before their time. So what does Gorn's pledge do? Oh, 2 per rest, and we get plus 15 endurance from that. So it's a very minor healing. And we get a pet. Okay. And what do we have here? Mail armor, damage reduction of 9, and recovery speed minus 45. Recovery speed, what was that again? Recovery is the amount of time that a character spends between actions. Longer actions result in proportionally longer recovery. Armor also has a large effect on recovery. Generally, heavier armor inflicts longer recovery penalties. Mail armor is quite popular for its protective qualities, especially against slashing attacks. Mail is comprised of thousands of small rings of steel that form a flexible mesh, normally worn or a padded jacket. Mail protects well, but restricts its wearer in combat. Yep. We then got a rapier. Yeah, very average damage. Accuracy versus deflection. Plus 5. That is good. Light and fast, rapiers are precise weapons favored by urban duelists. They are not known for being especially powerful, but a skilled wielder can rely on rapiers to accurately land blows. And we got a stiletto in our second hand. Damage roll bypass. I'm not sure about the stiletto. The accuracy is important, and this one, that's 12 less accuracy. However, we get a second action with this weapon. Let's keep it for now. Quick items. That one.
Sure.
Now, what else do we have here
Sure.
in the immediate vicinity? First of all, let's expand that. These tall glass green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. Caravana. Oh, there's something. Potion of Minor Regeneration. These blue-green liquids are attributed with powers of recuperation, restoring energy and liveliness to the wearer, or morals over a period of time. She got the... Actually, whoopsies. We switch. Yep.
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
Most people you encounter in the world are neutral or friendly. You can interact with them by clicking on their selection circle. Many characters will simply greet you and go on their way, but others will have larger conversations to explore. The merchant Hedon has a conversation that opens a store with equipment for sale. Okay, there was something else though, wasn't there? No. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
First, who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
With an outlook like that, I'm sure you do well. If you think the caravanners are prickly, watch out for those axe-wielders Odima mentioned. That's an excellent advice indeed. You now have one rank in a disposition reputation. These reputations represent how people perceive your personality throughout the world. Even seemingly nasty reputations will be favored by some people, and banning reputations often bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in Pillars of Eternity. But if your main character is a priest or paladin, you must be careful not to misalign their dispositions with what is favored by their deity and order, respectively. For the main character only, their dispositions will modify the effects of holy radiance for priests and faith and conviction for paladins. Okay, useful.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Okay, so why do you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Adir colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Raed Ceres work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Seems like you got the short end of the stick. I don't see it that way. Hedon begins restacking the crates in his wagon. My brothers and I are all working together for the sake of the family enterprise. Okay, so let's see what you've got. Stores allow you to trade and sell your items for copper, or items in the store's inventory. Merchants buy items from you at a greatly reduced price. If you sell something, you may see it appear in the store's inventory with a much higher cost. Stores periodically refresh the inventories. Yep, okay. We can probably trade that in. We don't need that. We get 70. Ooh. Okay, so what can we get? Oh, we can. Ooh, a great sword. Yes? Question mark? Yes. I like the idea of a great sword. Oh, the heck, let's get it. Oopsies. Oopsies. Okay, so 15 to 22 slash pierce damage. Accuracy versus deflection. Plus one. Interrupt strong. Yes, okay. Let's do it. Trade these in. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that looks appropriate. Oh, only 27 though. Oh, holy crap! Suddenly, I don't think it's such a good idea. I mean, these have two kinds of damage though, so that's a good thing. Let's try it out. We keep these for now. Let's see what
Something
else
else you need?
got. Okay. Brigantine. Lockpick. Potion of minor regeneration. Oh, we can't really afford any more of that. Maybe we take one lockpick? Or three? Let's take two lockpicks. Exploration is key in Pillars of Eternity. As you make your way through the Eastern Reach, open the area map to see what parts of the map you've already been to and what's left to explore. Area map was M? Yes. We haven't been down here. There may be something. I can't quite remember. Oh, there may be something here. Horses. And, oh, what's that? Orland's Cradle. What is that? It has been dropped into this stash. Orland's Cradle. Named by Reatseren settlers who came upon the mushrooms in the forest. This thick, flat fungus grows along the base of large trees. Or walls, as it would seem. Interesting. Anything else? Okay.
Not looking forward to trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Why are they so slow? It's something changed? Maybe if I... Wait, what happened? Where is it now? Oh, it's in the stash, yes, okay. I still have to figure out... why you not get in there? Good. Are you faster now? Nope. Okay. This strikes me as awfully slow, but I don't know. Ah, damn it, again. Let's put them there. Switch to new weapon sets. Okay. Where could I do that?
Hey there.
Here. Okay. Yes. Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah?
Okay, let's have a look around. Who are you? Sparfil. Ah,
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
yeah. He's lazy, I get that. Ooh, hello. Admeth Weird. So, what is that? Stash. Admeth's Weird. This distinctive herb is a common sight in open fields and meadows, bearing small arrow-shaped leaves which encircle red flowers. It earned its name for its association with the final resting place of Admeth Hardred, though the particulars of the story change with each retelling. Interesting.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Oh, wolves. Okay. Let's see. What's this? This is the second wind plus 28 endurance. That's per encounter, right? Right, it is. Okay. Focus. Strange illness. How do I generate focus? Not enough focus. Probably by striking enemies? Okay, Pillars of Eternity. Combat uses a pausable real-time system. Because you will often manage more than one character at a time, it's a good idea to pause the game, issue orders, and resume real-time to see the orders play out. The options menu also contains many choices for automatic pausing when certain conditions are met. For example, the start of combat. Okay. Yes, we auto-pause for combat start, stop party movement, spellcast, target destroyed, combat time, combat auto-slow, finish ability, hidden object found, extraordinary defense, weapon ineffective, now, enemy spotted. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Low health? Well, drops below 25%. That may not be a bad idea. Member's health drops below 25%. Character attacked. Character death. I think low health, it will be good if the game is paused automatically then. Yes, okay. So you, what do you have? Knockback, knockdown. 2 per encounter, so it's safe to use. Also second wind. Shows an enemy with enormous force, knocking them prone and causing additional damage. And you will do... You will do basic attack.
Hey there.
One of your characters has been engaged in melee. When characters are engaged, they immediately stop moving. If they move again, they will provoke a disengagement attack from the enemies engaging them. Your characters will also automatically engage enemies when they initiate attacks against them with melee weapons. Yes, okay, so you move around. All characters in the game, friend or foe, have 4 primary defenses against attacks: deflection, fortitude, reflex, and will. These defenses are based on the character's attributes, level, items, and other effects. Accuracy is compared to the appropriate defenses when an attack is made. If accuracy is below the targeted defense, the attack suffers a penalty to the roll and is more likely to result in a miss. If accuracy is above the targeted defense, the attack is more likely to result in a crit. Makes sense. All characters that do damage have to overcome the target's damage reduction, DR. An enemy's DR reduces the incoming damage by the listed amount down to a minimum percentage. If you are having difficulty hurting an enemy, try switching to a weapon or attack that does a different damage type. Most enemies are strong against 1 or 2 damage types and weak against a similar number. Ah yes, okay, so we generate focus by hitting things. It seems this is dependent on damage. The first one created what we had 7, got to 12, that would be 5, and the second hit for 15 and got us 8. Right? Engage young wolf, Kalisha knocked down. So yeah, the first hit for 15 got us 5 focus, and the second hit for 22 and got us 8 focus. So it seems to be reliant on the damage done. So you have, you basically have a decision to make here. Either you pick a fast weapon and quickly generate lower amounts of focus, or you pick a large weapon and generate higher amount of focus. Either one is viable, in my opinion. Okay, we killed that one. That goes to the stash. By the way, I like the stash. I really do like it. As you receive quests, your journal will update with relevant information. If you ever get stuck, open it to review your Noes. Okay, makes sense. That's for the mercenary. You look like you've seen your share of action. What did you do before you came out here? I was a blade for hire. Yeah? How is it you happened to come here? I've never been much good at anything else. All I need to go with work pays. I've got a lot of debt. Just say I don't have the most sparkling of reputations. I've never been much good at anything else, but I need to go where there's work that pays. You do what you can to survive. What else can someone be expected to do? Kalisha breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Redrick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? Actually, I haven't given it much thought. No harm in that. Might as well see the place first. So, you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. Getting into trouble, I expect. Ha! You've come to the right country. This whole place is crawling with troublemakers. It's a point of pride for them. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odim will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here, actually? Kalisha sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixamital, but I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me, so I'm here and we'll see. Odima I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. Okay, tell me a bit about yourself. I've got a simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rauatai and another in Edir. My sister is in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Deerwood? Oh, I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Edir Empire. Broke off after war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting your water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get your water. Okay, I sense complications. Anything up here? Yes. Look into every nook. By the way, wasn't there a fast forward? Yes, there was. D. Oh, okay, makes sense. She's still here, by the way? Nope. Okay. Anything down this way? Nope. Deep, 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 deep. A deer. Hello, dear. Oh, who's that? Travelers, maybe. Or looters. Or bandits. Bad sign anyway, you figure it. Okay. The corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark, crusted bloodstain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Not very promising. What do you have? Oh, hello. Leather armor. And another lockpick. Actually, the leather armor. Maybe? I mean, the damage reduction is vastly reduced. However, I would be able to move a lot faster. What's she have? Oh, scale armor, actually. This might be good. Let's stick with the chainmail right now. I should be good. Uh-oh.
What a surprise. Sparfle went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on,
Use the tab key to highlight. Yes, I know that. Anything else around here?